Yeah, this book was a little hard to actually get any research done for.
I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. This was bound to happen with an indie book at some point. I mean, not all of them can have the lineage of a savage dragon, the mass media presence of The Tick or Hellboy, meld two genres like Caliber, or be an adaptation of a well-known property like Sherlock Holmes or Space Ghost.
Basically, when trying to look up information on Neozoic, all I really managed to turn up was a Wikipedia article that was only slightly too large to qualify as a stub, a Comic Vine article that wasn't that much more in depth, and the publisher, Red 5 Comics' website, it was a bit lacking, to say the least.
All I really have to go on is that the name of the publisher, Red 5 Comics, is a Star Wars reference, which is given the fact that many of the creators used to work at LucasArts, and the fact that Neozoic takes place on an Earth where the dinosaurs weren't wiped out by a large object from space. Or, to put it simply, it has almost the exact same plot as the latest Pixar theatrical release.
Well, okay, maybe Neozoic isn't exactly like The Good Dinosaur, but the basic structure's kinda there. And the really weird thing is, this book actually contains a quote saying that it's a great comic for children of all ages. And we'll touch a little bit of the problems I have with that later, but for now, let's get into Neozoic.
Just outside the city of Menante, Captain Clausen and his lieutenant Lily Marco of the Dante Squad visit a construction crew working on fortifying the city's defense walls. The two talk to the foreman/architect named Pax and wonder why it is he started work on the wall before the Dante Squad could arrive to provide security. Pax tries to explain that the completion schedule has put his crew on a bit of a time crunch, so they need to use every available hour they can. Clausen is having none of it, though, and tells Pax that next time he needs to alert the Dante Squad, or he won't have any help at all. As Clausen and Lily leave, a couple of Pax's co-workers tease him, as it's known that he has a not-so-secret crush on Lily, who is the poster child of the squad. Meanwhile, the rest of the Dante Squad go out on a patrol, where they come across a sauropod being attacked by a large group of wolves. The group begins taking out the wolves, except for Ross, the team's newest member, who has his gun jam, and this allows the team to be jumped on by a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Okay, I should point out here that the people in this comic have their own names for dinosaurs. For example, dinosaurs in general are actually called Stavaros, and the T-Rex is actually referred to as a Tigress. But for the sake of ease, I'm just going to call dinosaurs dinosaurs, and any family of dinosaurs like sauropods or pterosaurs will be referred to by their family name, and any exact species of dinosaurs like a T-Rex or a Stegosaurus will be referred to as, well, a T-Rex or a Stegosaurus.
At this point, Clausen and Lily arrive and make quick work of the T-Rex. Afterward, Lily and the team's tracking specialist split off from the group to investigate something. They discover a large group of dinosaurs, both carnivorous and herbivorous, nesting in a ravine. They also discover a young girl sleeping in the middle of the nest. Lily manages to secret her way into the nest and locate the child. Recognizing the young girl as a talpid, a third race of beings on the planet alongside humans and dinosaurs, Lily picks up the girl, which alerts the dinosaurs to her presence. Lily calls her horse over and manages to escape with the girl. Lily returns to the outskirts of Menante and meets up with Clausen. The captain begins chewing her out, pointing out that the humans and the talpids don't interact, so there's no knowing how much danger Lily just put the city in. Lily pays no mind and takes the talpid within the walls. Lily takes the young girl to her family's home at the High Temple. There, Lily's father, the city's religious leader, objects to housing the young girl. However, Lily's sister Crystal talks him out of it, pointing out that they've sworn to help all, human or not. Meanwhile, the rest of the Dante Squad begin to celebrate, except for Ross, who wasn't invited. Ross returns home to his family, where he receives a hero's welcome, though he doesn't feel like he deserves it. All celebrations are halted, though, when a large group of pterosaurs swoop into the city and begin picking people up. The swarm continues as another attack commences. Dinosaurs begin crashing into the city's walls and acting like reptilian siege engines for other dinosaurs. The city's alarm sounds off and the Dante squad prepare for action. They are joined by King Ulas as he sends his family into a panic room to keep safe. With that, Clausen meets up with Pax, who informs the captain where the weakest spot in the wall is located. Lily then hands Pax a sword, informing him that he's just been drafted. The Dante squad begins taking out dinosaurs when Pax notices something. Even though the dinosaurs have crashed through the walls, they're not exactly going after any of the citizens. Lily pieces together where the dinosaurs are headed, and runs off. Meanwhile, in the royal panic room, the king's family make their way through when they are jumped by a group of talpids. As the dinosaurs continue their march through the city, Dante squad rookie Ross rushes towards his home and arrives to evacuate his parents. Before they can leave, though, they are crushed under the foot of a sauropod. Lily arrives at the temple with Clausen close behind, and he pieces together the situation upon seeing the talpid girl. Believing that only killing the child will call off the dinosaur's attack, Clausen moves to do so, only for Lily to stop him. However, their actions frighten the child, and the dinosaurs begin to attack the temple. A T-Rex crashes into the temple and sinks its teeth into Lily's sister Crystal. Clausen moves once more to kill the talpid child, but Lily kicks him, causing him to fall into a hole where he is impaled on the plates of a stegosaurus. Lily's father is shocked by the death of Crystal and Lily's actions. He then disowns Lily, who flees the temple with the child. As she runs off, Lily bumps into Pax. Before she can explain anything, a talpid soldier emerges and hits Lily with a blow dart. Pax gets on a horse with the child and a now sleeping Lily, and flees the city. Meanwhile, King Ulas and the Dante squad return to the royal palace. There they find the bodies of the queen and her children being crucified by the talpids. The talpid leader named Boss proclaims himself the new ruler of Menanti. As the king is taken hostage, the Dante squad breaks up, with some being taken hostage alongside the king and Lily's father, while others go into hiding, like Ross, who begins trying to formulate a resistance. Meanwhile, the tracker, whose name I still don't know, and another squad member named Kaini notice that the talpids are using a form of telepathy to enslave the population. Back with Lily and Pax, she wakes up to find her trio surrounded by a large group of dinosaurs. Pax assures her that as long as the talpid child is okay, the dinosaurs won't attack. Unfortunately, it's at this point that the child begins having a nightmare, causing the dinosaurs to react, driving the trio up into the trees, where they discover something. It's there that they realize an ancient city is housed in the trees. Pax recognizes the language written on some of the walls as Arcalucia, the language of the founders. He's able to translate some of it, and it turns out the talpid girl also knows the language. She reveals her name is Milo.
It turns out that Milo was experimented on by the talpid leader Boss in an attempt to boost her telepathic ability so that she could control dinosaurs. Wondering why I'm doing this on camera and not with a voiceover? Well, that's because the comic does this after the fact. There are no pages of Milo explaining things to Lily and Pax. Only Lily and Pax reacting to what Milo told them. I guess the writers forgot that comics are a show, don't tell medium.
Back in Menanti, the resistance slowly begins to take shape as Ross bumps into a classmate from the Dante Squad Academy named Roma. The tracker, along with Kaini, discover a way to block the talpid mind control by inflicting pain on themselves. Also, squad member Petra has been able to track down the location of Clausen and Lily at the temple. As she makes her way through the wreckage, she finds a stegosaurus that Clausen was impaled on, except Clausen's body is missing. After some further inspection, Petra comes across Clausen's crippled body. It's then the captain tries to explain to her about Lily. At this point, the revolution begins. Ross and Roma begin taking out some of the talpid slave drivers, while Kaini and the tracker, whose name I still don't know, begin freeing the slaves. Meanwhile, independent of all this, Lily and Pax implement a plan of their own. They have Milo instruct a large group of pterosaurs to fly over Menanti carrying large bags of melons, dropping them on the talpid soldiers. They then instruct Milo to spread the message throughout the dinosaurs to only attack the city dwellers who smell like melon. Clausen manages to engage in the battle as well by mounting a horse and using it to act as the captain's legs while he fights. Clausen and Petra manage to locate the royal family and free them, and this allows King Ulas to rejoin the battle. It's here that Clausen notices the dinosaurs attacking only the talpid. He's able to piece together that Lily and Milo are behind this and that he was wrong about them. Unfortunately, the talpid leader manages one last trick by unleashing a massive psychic wave which overwhelms and apparently kills Milo. An irate Lily single-handedly storms the palace, making quick work of the Talpid guards and confronting the Talpid leader, Boss. Boss tries taunting Lily in order to throw her off, but she isn't having any of it and easily overpowers him. As she delivers the killing blow, Boss releases the psychic grip he had on Milo, and the child returns to life. Afterwards, as the city begins to recover, Clausen decides to retire, knowing his injuries are just too much. Lily is then promoted to being in charge of the new Dante Squad.
And that concludes Neozoic. How was it? Well, the idea behind the story, while not entirely original, is kind of interesting, and the artwork is passable, although the artist does get a little cheesecakey with some of his women posing. That being said, there are some major problems with this book. The story itself just jumps around constantly. It's tough to really get a handle on everything. Characters are woefully underwritten, not even named in some cases. I never did learn the tracker's name. Likewise, the Milo revelation that I explained earlier, just kind of being skimmed over and we only finding out after the fact what she told them. That, and now on to that little critical quote, remember, that said this book was all ages? Yeah, this all ages books contain scenes of bifurcation, crucifixion, decapitation, child experimentation, child death, people being crushed to death, impalement, massive depictions of animal slaughter, and there's one panel that reveals that Petra had just engaged in a threesome. Yeah. All ages. Now, look, especially with an independent book, not quite self-published in the strictest sense of the term, but these aren't the big guys. Red 5 Comics is a small outfit. Their most noteworthy property was Atomic Robo, and that just left for a much larger publisher. So I do try to cut them a little bit of slack. That being said, I really can't recommend this book very well. Unfortunately, I do have to give Neozoic an F. And with that, let's see what we'll be doing next time on the Random Trade Review.